It's not every day the world stops to mourn a man who once seemed larger than life itself. But today is one of those days. The wrestling world, the entertainment industry, and millions of fans across generations are all grappling with one crushing reality. Hulk Hogan, the icon, the legend, the immortal, is gone. Dead at the age of 71. This next clip shows paramedics performing CPR on Hulk Hogan as they tried to save his life.
Looking at you now. Got a lot of people. Okay, what is it? Just send me a text, whatever it is.
Now, it's one thing to lose a hero to time, but it's another thing entirely to watch your childhood champion, a man who body slammed giants and screamed into cameras with a roar that shook arenas, be wheeled out of his Florida home as paramedics fought to keep his heart beating. That's not just loss, that's heartbreak. So, what really happened? How did the man who defined professional wrestling for an entire era meet such a sudden and tragic end? And what does this mean for those closest to him? His wife, his children, and the fans who believed Hulkamania could never die. Let's rewind to the final hours of a legend's life. Thursday morning in Clearwater, Florida. It was just before 10 a.m. when a chilling call came into 911 dispatchers. The report, cardiac arrest. Emergency services were immediately dispatched to a private residence, the home of none other than Hulk Hogan. And within minutes, the scene turned surreal. Flashing lights, panicked paramedics, a stretcher, a figure being rushed out. That figure was Hogan himself. Eyewitnesses described a frantic attempt to revive him. Several paramedics performed chest compressions on the WWE Hall of Famer as he was rushed into the ambulance. There were no words, just urgency, just the sound of compressions, the sight of defibrillators, and the quiet, growing horror of neighbors and onlookers who recognized exactly who they were watching. Now, we want to give you a moment here to process this for yourself.
It's hard to watch. It's even harder to accept. Hogan was immediately transported to a nearby hospital, but the efforts, the adrenaline, the desperation, none of it was enough. He was officially pronounced dead at the hospital shortly after arrival. The cause? Cardiac arrest. Sudden, unforgiving, final. And just like that, the man who once told the world to say their prayers and take their vitamins was gone. Police in Clearwater have since confirmed the tragic loss, with a press conference expected later today to provide more details. But already, the world is reeling, because even though Hogan was 71, and even though he had struggled with a number of health issues in recent years, neck surgeries, nerve damage, rumors of back pain so severe he couldn't feel his legs at times, no one expected this, especially not now. Just last month, his wife Sky Hogan, whom he married in September 2023, had clapped back at rumors that her husband was in a coma, telling fans that Hulk's heart was strong and that he was simply recovering from a recent neck procedure. At the time, insiders claimed Hogan was far from death's door, though they admitted he was dealing with post-surgery symptoms. No one imagined his final chapter would arrive this abruptly. So now we're left asking, what really went wrong? Was this a complication from his recent procedure? A stress-induced cardiac episode? Or was there something else brewing beneath the surface that fans didn't know about? The family is understandably devastated and tight-lipped, but insiders tell us that Sky is in shock and completely heartbroken. She was reportedly home when paramedics arrived and has since requested privacy. Meanwhile, Hogan's children, daughter Brooke and son Nick, have yet to make public statements, Those sources close to them say they are destroyed and inconsolable. One family friend told us, Hulk was the glue. He may have been the Hulk to the world, but to them, he was dad. And this just doesn't feel real. And honestly, it doesn't feel real to us either. Because Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler. He was a phenomenon, a movement, a man who turned sports entertainment into mainstream pop culture. Born Terry Eugene Bollea in 1953, Hogan's rise to fame in the 1980s wasn't just impressive, it was meteoric. He headlined the very first WrestleMania. He sold out Madison Square Garden. He graced the cover of Sports Illustrated. He crossed over into movies, cartoons, music, and merchandising. He was the business. You didn't even have to watch wrestling to know who Hulk Hogan was. That bandana, that handlebar mustache, that catchphrase, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you," it was more than branding. It was cultural history. And then there was the fall. Because let's be real, Hogan's legacy has always been complicated. From the steroid scandals of the 90s to his controversial departure from WWE, from leaked tapes to racist remarks that led to his suspension from the Hall of Fame, Hulk's personal life was often as chaotic as his wrestling feuds. And yet, in recent years, he had worked hard to restore his image, even making amends with WWE and being reinstated into the Hall of Fame. He appeared at WrestleMania again. He received standing ovations. Fans, especially younger ones, were ready to move forward. And now, they have to say goodbye. Tributes have already begun flooding social media. Wrestling stars, past and present, are sharing stories of the man behind the character. John Cena tweeted, "Without Hogan, there would be no me. Thank you for everything. Rest in power." Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posted a throwback clip of him and Hogan in the ring together, writing, "The man, the myth, the legend. You gave everything for this business. You'll always be champion to me." Even Vince McMahon, who had a famously complicated relationship with Hogan, issued a statement. Terry was one of a kind. His impact on WWE, on fans around the world, on me personally, cannot be overstated. We've lost a giant. But beyond the statements, beyond the headlines, it's the fans who are feeling this the hardest. Because Hogan wasn't just a superstar, he was a childhood memory. He was the voice shouting through your TV on Saturday mornings. He was the action figure you couldn't put down. He was the reason so many kids believed they too could be strong, brave, unstoppable. And now, that voice is silent. As for what happens next, we're told funeral arrangements are already underway and that Hogan will be laid to rest in a private ceremony in Florida. But WWE is planning something bigger, a memorial tribute that may take place on live television as early as this coming Monday Night Raw. No official details have been confirmed, but a source inside WWE says the company is devastated and wants to honor Hulk with the biggest tribute they've ever done for a wrestler. There's even early chatter of renaming a WWE Hall of Fame wing after him. That's how deep his legacy runs. And honestly, that's fitting, because for all his flaws, all the controversies, and all the messy human complexities, Hogan was the guy. He was the first real megastar in wrestling. The reason WrestleMania exists. The reason WWE survived the 80s. He was a walking headline, a breathing myth, the kind of man whose voice echoed across generations. And now, that voice is gone. Still, something tells us Hogan wouldn't want this to be the end. Not really. He'd want his fans to keep pushing, to keep believing, to live the message he preached every time he stepped into the ring. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and never give up. And maybe that's what we can hold on to. The energy, the spectacle, the belief. Hulk Hogan may be gone, but Hulkamania, that's forever. Rest in peace, champ.